Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. This is my pre-season predictions for the British Touring Car Championship. It starts up in a few weeks time. We have pretty much all of the drivers confirmed, at least the ones that we know are guaranteed to be starting this season. And we know the tracks, so let's get into it. And in terms of the structure, this will follow a similar structure to the other pre-season predictions that I have recorded. So the first 5 will be some broad general predictions, then 6 through 10 will be some championship predictions. After that, we'll have 5 for random events, 5 more for driver changes to 2026, and another 5 for calendar predictions for 2026. You can check out the other ones that I've done on the channel. I think I'm going for 10 this year, so let's see how many of the 250 predictions I can get right. So my first prediction is going to be there will be at least 10 different race winners. I reckon we're going to have quite a competitive season. I'm not going to put a prediction in to say that any of them are independents, though with Restart Racing now running the Hyundai and One Motorsport returning with the Honda with Josh Cook behind the wheel, I wouldn't be surprised. I also think at least 2 Jack Sears drivers will finish on the podium at some point. I mean, when you look at the lineup that we have this year that are in the Jack Sears Trophy, Darrell De Leon is the Team BMW entry, at least in terms of the official declaration. Charles Rainford is in with the LKQ BMWs. I mean, still the same constructor entry. At the same time, Sam Osborne is still somebody who is classed as Jack Sears. TGR have Ronan Pearson and James Dorlin, and then Unlimited have 3, Dexter Patterson, Nick Hamilton, and Max Hall. In addition to that, I reckon at least 5 tracks will see a lap record broken in 2025 with the hybrid gone, the car's lighter, and this new turbo stuff. I also then think at least one of these tracks will see both qualifying and race records broken. And given that Brands Hatch and Donington Park have 2 dates, I reckon that at least one of them will see records broken on both layouts. Next up for championship predictions, number 6, I reckon we'll have a returning drivers champion. I predicted that last season. Jake Hill went and won it. If Jake Hill wins again, he will be a returning drivers champion. I then think the team's champion will not be the manufacturer's champions. Now, that could be because, for example, it might be that Ford are the manufacturer's champions. If they are, they're most likely going to be the team's ones. But if Ford are the team's ones, or Alliance Racing, should I say, are the team's ones, it is full well possible that BMW end up the manufacturer's champions. Just because you have all the other different spin-off teams, it could disqualify them. I then think the Jack Sears champion will not have the highest race finish out of those with the Jack Sears this season. I reckon with the driver's champion, they will be from at least one of the manufacturers or team's champions. So thinking that it's going to be split, you could end up theoretically in a position where the driver's champion drives the Toyota, the team's champion is Alliance, and then the manufacturer's champion is BMW. Or Hyundai even. That one would be a bit more difficult, I think. My last one, though, is that at least one of Adam Morgan, Aidan Moffat, or Gordon Shedden will be the top scorers for their teams. They are drivers that have moved around from the manufacturer setups in the off-season, with Morgan going across to Hyundai, Moffat going across to BMW, and Shedden returning to the sport with Toyota. Next up, off the back of the BTCC announcing their free-to-air package outside of the UK, I reckon the BTCC will launch its own streaming service, either in 2025 or for 2026. That's one that I think could definitely happen. I mean, they're currently streaming on TikTok, or they were, and they're going to move across to doing YouTube this year for non-UK and North America viewers. I reckon that PMR will add an Astra for at least one event, although they're looking at trying to finalise it, but they haven't announced anything with that yet. I reckon Ford will have a one-off livery for at least 2 events. They tend to do it for Knock Hill, and is it the last 2 years at Silverstone we've also had the Valvoline ones? I reckon that at least one of the top 5 in the championship will have a moment where they crash into their teammate or are crashed into by their teammate. And I reckon there'll also be a driver that makes a one-off start. Last year we had that for Bobby Thompson. The year before that was Rob Huff, wasn't it? In terms of drivers' announcements for 2026, I reckon that an international tin top driver will be announced for the 2026 season. And I reckon a TCR driver will be announced for 2026 too. Now, those are different predictions. It could be that if someone like Norby ended up coming across from WTCR to the BTCC, he'd tick both boxes. But I'm leaving this as 2 separate ones. I reckon Colin Turkington won't announce a return from hiatus. I reckon at least one former BTCC race winner will announce their return, and that at least one new car, make or model, will be announced in 2026. I mean, I think Lions said that they were going to be dropping the Focus, so I haven't seen any announcement for a replacement yet. My final 5 calendar predictions now. I reckon Donington Park and Brands Hatch will keep both dates for different configurations. I think the last season or 2 that I've done pre-season predictions of the BTCC, I've been thinking that Donington would lose that second date, especially given the rain-soaked mayhem it's been. But I reckon it'll stick around this year, or I'll be wrong 3 years in a row and wrong in either direction. I think the season will start earlier in 2026. Now, that one I think is a bit more surefire because Easter moves around. I also think the season will finish earlier in 2026, more like the last weekend of September than the first weekend of October. I think at least 3 races will change places in the calendar, like Thruxton has been a summer date and a May bank holiday date before. And I think if there is an 11th event, it'll be overseas. Maybe Spain, where there are MSV tracks like Navarra, or Zandvoort, or heck, given the amount of national series that are going over there at the moment, maybe even somewhere like Saudi Arabia. But anyways, those are my predictions. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and until next time, it's bye for now.